Well, hello, girls. Hope you guys had a great week. And I just wanted to I hope you guys are having an amazing time in the Word and in the presence of God. And I just wanted to reiterate something that I had talked about earlier in this season, or in this series, about just not over pressurizing yourself as you're reading. So if you miss a day, or if you can't finish a day of reading, don't freak out, don't stress out, don't feel like you have to put that then on the next day or whatever. Please don't do that. We're not looking at the Word of God like a textbook. I'm not giving exams, anything like that. This is just about getting His words, getting to know our God, getting to know Him and putting it deep inside of our heart and letting Him shape the way that we think. And too, if you want to get started and you haven't gotten started with the program yet and you want to, please just go on our website, Calvary Chapel Paul, go under ministries and His Word in His Face, and you can get either a PDF or a link to the online app of the program, that the 1-year Bible program that we're using. So, and you can start literally anytime, and you just work through the next year. It really is just like that. So please join us. This is just really something that I'm so passionate about, because I've seen how the Word of God has completely changed my Christian life, and how daily Bible reading has led to knowing Him more and understanding more about what it really means to be a Christian and what it really means to walk with Him. So please just jump in. But I wanted to get started, and I wondered if you guys were already kind of guessing what scriptures I was going to do the videos about. I didn't know, but maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe it's silly. But anyways, we're going to go to Mark chapter 1, verse 35. So I think I'm jumping back a little bit, but I didn't want to miss this. So Mark chapter 1, verse 35. So Jesus is just starting His ministry, and He's just gaining popularity. He's just gaining a following of people wherever He's going. And it's just before the Pharisees really start getting on Him and giving Him a hard time, or trying to give Him a hard time. And so that's where we find Him at this point. And it says in verse 35, "Now in the morning, having risen a long while before daylight, He went out and departed to a solitary place, and there He prayed. And Simon and those who were with him searched anxiously for Him. And when they found Him, they said to Him, 'Everyone is looking for you.' But He said to them, 'Let us go into the next towns, and that I may preach there, and also because for this purpose I have come forth.' And He was preaching in their synagogues throughout all Galilee and casting out demons." And so we find that right at this point, where He's starting to gain fame and popularity, Jesus wakes up long before the sun comes up, and He leaves the house, and He goes and finds a place all by Himself that He can talk to His Father, and He can pray. And for me, I know it makes people feel kind of guilty when I talk about this, if they're struggling with the morning, but I love to just get with God first thing in the morning. For me, it is the best time to get with Him before anything started, before the house is up, before there's tons of distractions. I can just focus. I can actually read. And yes, I need coffee, like IV coffee, first thing in the morning, yes. But yeah, once I've got my coffee, I can sit and I can just focus and actually allow the Lord to wake my brain up. Is actually what happens. Is as I read, He just starts to speak to me. And too, there's just something really beautiful about the morning, isn't there? About the newness of the morning, about as the sun comes up, that there's just like almost this feeling that 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 it's new, that there can be an expectation for newness of the day, that the things of yesterday can kind of go, and that we can have an expectation for him to do something new, for him to speak to us something new, for him to show us something new, for him to do a new work in our lives. It's just a beautiful, beautiful time of the morning. And if I learned a lot of things, obviously raising 3 children, and having having babies, and trying to read my Bible and things like that, having a newborn and stuff like that. But one thing I did learn is that sleep, you can do without it. And in every season of my life, and every schedule that I've had to keep, every time during my life, there's always a chance for me to set my alarm. And I can set my alarm early enough for me to have, even if it's just a small amount of time away with God. And remember, last week I was saying this isn't like some kind of deliberation that we must go through. It's not like hours and hours. For me, it's an hour, because I'm at this point in my life where I have older kids. But maybe you don't have that much time. But it's just if you can get away and get some time with him, and it doesn't have to be in the morning, of course. It can be any time. But okay, so I'm kind of over deliberating on this, but yeah, it's just about getting away and getting with our Father and hearing what he has to say. But here, what happens, I think, is so funny. What happens with Peter and the disciples. So they're running frantically trying to find Jesus, freaking out because everybody is looking for him. Everybody wants to see him. Everybody wants to be around him. And so I have like this picture in my mind of Peter running up, finding Jesus with his phone in his hand, and like, Jesus, you left your phone at home. Everybody's looking for you. You have like 1,000 messages. Oh my word. And they're so excited because they're thinking, wow, it's happening. All this popularity, this is what's supposed to happen. And he's supposed to have all of this, and then he's going to be the king, and it's going to be awesome. And Jesus has already received his directive from God, hasn't he? So he's already had this quiet time with God where he's spent, and he's heard from his Father. He's kind of like gotten his refocus back in order, and Jesus says, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go chase that. We're going on to the next city, because that's why I'm here. That's why I came. And they must have just been, gobsmacked. Just like, what? What? We don't understand. Don't you want this? Isn't this what it's all about? And Jesus says, no, that's not why I'm here. I've already received direction from my Father, and we're going on to the next city. We're not even going to go back there. We're going to go right on. And I feel like it's so important, because especially, I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like life is going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and there's so much expectation on us. There's so many. It feels like sometimes, if you're a mom, it feels like everyone's looking for you. Even when you're in the toilet, for crying out loud, everyone's looking for you. And you feel like you're just running from one expectation, meeting, expectation, all day long. And if I haven't received my direction, if I haven't heard from God what he wants to say first, I'm just gonna get, run along by my nose through the whole day. And I'm never actually going to have gotten my direction to know what it is, why it is that I'm here, what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, what it is that I'm to be focused on. And so here, I think that it's just such a beautiful example that Jesus lays out for us, that we can, that we need to hear that our God has something for us to do. Our God has a purpose and a focus for our lives. But if we allow ourselves to get so caught up with what's happening with social media right at our fingertips at all times, with people having access to us at all times, 24 hours a day, they can always have access to us and expect to have access to us 24 hours a day. We can get very, very sidetracked, can't we? Very, very sidetracked and completely lose focus on what he has asked us to do. And maybe right now, me just saying this, me just saying that that I have a purpose, that we have a purpose, is freaking you out a little bit, because you're thinking, what is my purpose? I don't know. What is the reason that I live in Paarl? What is the reason that my kids go to this school? What is the reason that I am in this job? What is the reason that I'm in this marriage? What is the reason? And you feel like a little bit adrift from the pier, maybe. And so me just saying this puts just another expectation on you. But I just want to just kind of like diffuse that and just say that the action is just what Jesus showed us. Going off into a solitary place and hearing from him. And girls, that is like a discipline. It's a practice. It's a training of hearing his voice, of seeing what he wants us to see and hearing him. It's a training of our ears to hear his voice. It's a training, a practice of going to him and hearing from him first. And it's gonna take, girls, it's gonna take some courage. It's gonna take some tenacity. Because the thing is that we can't just go one time and think, I didn't hear anything. I don't know. Something's wrong with my ears. I can't hear him. I don't know. It feels like every time I talk, he's not listening. We can't just be like that. It's a practice it's a deliberation, it's a purposefulness of going to him to receive our directions, to receive our mandate, to receive how we're supposed to be moving forward in whatever situation. I need direction. I have 2 teenagers. I need directions on how to be the mom, a godly mother to them. I need direction. I need to know. I can't just go along with whatever just seems to fly up in the moment, because the emotions and everything is going like this. So I need to know exactly what it is that he wants to say to me, and I need to not move forward until I hear what he has to say to me. And that's going to take some grit, right? It's going to take some grit. It's going to take me not just giving up, me going after him and wanting to hear what he has to say to me, and putting that foremost in my heart, and not just getting led along because we can't we? I mean, we can just get so, as like what I said with Peter running up and saying, you left your phone at home and everyone's looking for you. You have 1,000 messages. We can be like that for us, and we can feel people's expectations so deeply. But God has something that he wants us in, a purpose that he wants to lead us in. So I hope you guys have a super blessed week.